Welcome back to Biologic Master. When you think of dust, you probably imagine dirt and grime building up in the corners of your house, on top of your furniture and in the crevices of your carpet. But have you ever wondered why your house has so much dust, or what's actually in that dust? Well, today we're going to talk about one of the reasons why your house is so dusty, and what kind of life forms might be living in your home without you even knowing it. So let's start with a big question. Why is there so much dust in your house? You might think it is because you live near a busy road or construction site, or maybe you just did clean your house enough as a kid. But a bigger reason could be the microscopic organisms living in your house. See, the average house is like a bustling metropolis, a thriving ecosystem filled with all kinds of microscopic life. And all these little critters need food to survive, which they get from a source you probably don't expect. You. The skin cells that make up the top layer of human skin drop off people in the form of dead skin cells. And these skin cells make up 90% of the dust in your house. That means the dust in your home is basically made of you. So it should come as no surprise that you are the main course for many microorganisms. One of the most common types of organisms living in your house is the arachnid. And no, not just spiders. Arachnids are a class of joint-legged invertebrates that include spiders, scorpions, mites, and ticks. And some of them like to set up shop in your house. One of the most infamous is the dust mite. These little worm-like parasites are only about 1/3 of a millimeter long. So they're almost impossible to see without a microscope. And they love to feast on a protein called keratin found in dead skin cells. In fact, dust mites are one of the main reasons houses get dusty in the first place, since they leave behind tiny, fecal pellets as they go about their business, and those pellets make up about 40% of the dust in your house. But dust mites aren't the only arachnids sharing your living space. You also share your house with at least 12 different species of spider. These spiders can come in all shapes and sizes, but most live in the corners of rooms, along baseboards, or in closets. As you move around your house, these spiders sense the vibrations and use them to find new webs and hunting grounds. Once there, they spin webs to catch their prey, which often includes other insects that are attracted to your home's glowing lights. So, not only do you have to worry about being eaten by the creepy crawlies living in your house, you also have to worry about getting eaten while trying to swat those creepy crawlies away. Talk about a nightmare. Now, if you thought this was bad, it gets worse. There are also mites living in your bed that feed on the oils your skin cells produce. While they prefer to dine on the greasier parts of the body like the scalp and eyelashes, they will happily munch on the dust mites that have taken up residence in your bedding. And although they're not technically alive in the same way that plants and animals are, viruses are also a part of your home's microbial ecosystem. Every time you touch a surface like your phone, keyboard, or remote control, you leave behind a few viruses from the ones that cause the common cold to the flu. Even if you wash your hands before you eat, you probably still ingest a pound of bacteria every year, mostly from surfaces you frequently touch. That's because bacteria can stick to surfaces for extended periods of time and survive on things like doorknobs, toilets, and light switches. So, the next time you go to use your phone, make sure you wash your hands first, unless you want your dinner to come with a side of cold sores. And it's not just the stuff you touch that could make you sick. The air you breathe inside your house could also be filled with germs from cooking to cleaning to showering. All the activities you do inside your house create aerosols that float through the air. Aerosols are just tiny liquid droplets floating in the air that can carry all sorts of things with them, including bacteria. And when those aerosols come into contact with surfaces, they can sit on them for hours or even days. This means that any number of things can make their way into your lungs. When you walk into a room, sit on a couch, or climb into a bed, breathe easy knowing that you're inhaling all sorts of living things. In fact, scientists estimate that the average American spends a pound of that stuff every year, 10 times the weight of the average adult cat. But the good news is most of these microbes are harmless and even helpful to humans. For example, the bacteria living in your house can help break down odors, so your home does unsmell like dirty socks. Plus, these bacteria may even protect you from harmful microbes. That's because when you introduce a new microbe to an environment, the microbes already living there fight back to protect their territory. This is known as microbial antagonism. And it's one of the reasons why cleaning your house too much can be a bad thing. When you remove the microbes living in your house, you remove the ones that are protecting you from harmful microbes. And then suddenly you have an infestation of roaches or a case of athlete's foot. So although it's important to keep your house clean, it's also important to leave a little room for harmless microbes. Just don't leave out your skin cells on purpose. So do you know any obscure science facts? Share them with us in the comments below. As always, it's me. This has been Biologic Master. Don't forget to keep on thinking.